Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. I'll just wait for 1 or 2 more years and then I'll get started. Can anyone else also confirm that they can also see my screen? Can you all hear me? Is there anyone else who can confirm that they are able to see my screen? Okay, should I take that as a yes? Okay, I didn't see the messages. I'm seeing the messages now. Fine, so I'll get started. So the main thing in Workday is that what we have, the first thing is the Workday architecture. So as you all know, this is a cloud-based system, and okay, let's do this. Let's first talk about what exactly is Workday. So we all know Workday is nothing but Workday is an ERP tool that is a cloud-based ERP tool, and it allows you to manage your ERP system using a UI feature. Okay, so the UI over here is very interactive. It's very different from what you'd see on a normal basis. It's going to be a website-like feature that you or website-like link that you're going to access, but it's not going to be like your original or your classical websites that you have. Okay, so another thing is that Workday is a SaaS project. So any ideas what is or anyone who can pop in and tell me like what exactly a SaaS is? If you would have done a little bit background on Workday, you would be reading a lot about it, that it's a SaaS-based project. So what exactly is SaaS?
It's software as a service.
Right. What is the feature of a software as a service? Like if you are using a software as a service project, what is the like benefits or what is the main point that are what to say? That is the main point about it. Anyone else? And instead of putting on messages on and unmute yourself and speak about it. Okay, someone was saying something.
Hey, it's me, Bhupati.
Yeah.
It's purely cloud-based. Now we're not installing any software. Every time when we need any kind of business process, we're just using from the cloud. So.
Okay. So that is like a software. I'm asking like what are the features of a software as a service. So let me just take that back and let me try answering it. So software as a service, the best or the main point about that is that you don't have to maintain anything. Okay, you don't have to worry about the hardware. Actually, you don't have to worry about the software. You just need to use it. Okay, the software updates will be provided automatically to you. They will be done automatically on your system. You don't have to worry about doing the updates. Now the hardware part, that you have servers in place, you have databases in place, you have n number of things in place. You don't have to worry a bit about them. Everything will be taken care by the person who is providing you the SaaS service, and that is over here Workday. So Workday is taking care of the hardware, the software. You don't have to worry about maintaining them. You don't have to spend extra cost on that. That is why Workday, you will be hearing, is a very cost-effective tool. Why is it a cost-effective tool? Because you don't have to have the botheration about the hardware and the software. Okay. What happens in other ERP tools? Let's just take an example of SAP. What happens is as soon as you try installing SAP, you have to maintain a hardware. In the hardware, what will be you'll have to maintain servers. You'll have to maintain. You'll have to buy space as a database space, and you'll have to maintain them. So you'll have to hire guys to again maintain them. Over here in Workday, you don't have to worry about that shit. Everything will be taken care by Workday, and you are saving a lot of money over there. Okay. So that is like a brief about Workday, and that is how a Workday can be like used, or what Workday is doing for you. Okay.
Vinay,
So
this is Deva.
yeah.
A quick question. So, if everything is taken care by Workday, like where we are storing all this data,
Hmm. So we in the cloud, the data is all stored in cloud itself. There is no database actually. That is the beauty about Workday. Okay. So in cloud, there is a different mechanism of storing of the files and storing of your data. So that mechanism is followed, and and your data is stored on the cloud itself.
okay, thank you.
Yep. No problem. Any other questions? Okay, fine. So the next thing is that the first thing that you need to understand is how exactly the Workday system architecture is. The Workday system architecture is that you, being a user, open an internet browser, and using the UI, you interact with it. Okay. So now there is something called as request and there's something called as response. So over here, the request is XML in and response is XML out. Okay. So the requests that are made in Workday are made in XML form, and the response that you get are also in XML form. Okay. This is nothing but if you are a existing user or if you have done anywhere anything, everything is in the form of request and response. So even if you are using an internet page, if you click anywhere, that is like a request you are doing, and as soon as you click, there is a request that is generated, and that request will be processed internally and will give you a response accordingly. So that is nothing but XML out over here and XML in over here. So if suppose you are making a request, that will go in as XML in, it will go to something called as OMS. OMS is nothing but Object Management Service. Object Management Service will do what? It will execute all the business logic, means whatever, if suppose you have clicked on to access a worker's details. So it will just click on that, it will perform that logic over there, it will just try to fetch the information for the worker. It will check whatever security you are having, it will check whatever data it is having, it will communicate with the outside. It means like it will communicate over here to Workday, that is a data services over here. It will again send a request to it. It will again get a response out. So there will be a request that will be made again to the data services or where your data is stored, and depending on that, your data will be fetched and it will be then responded back to you using on the laptop that you are trying to access it from. So this is like the architecture that we follow over here. Okay, any questions so far? Good. So yeah.
Where these the tools are comes into picture, like for example, cloud. What is it called? There are many tools available. EIB,
Okay.
Studio, Code Connector, and all. So those all comes into. I mean,
So they all will be a part of this OMS itself. Okay. And to know more about them in details, like we will be discussing about them when we are talking about integrations. Okay. And this integration server, if you see, this is nothing but it will be having all the details about your integrations and all that. And it will be like the entry points for your data requests and all. Okay. So anything that you do will be all stored over here, and you will be actually accessing them using the ESP over here. That is nothing but your integration server. Okay. But if you're talking about where your EIBs, where your studios will be stored or existing, it will be over here, and using the OMS, you will be interacting with it. That's a good question.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. So this was your Workday system architecture, and now in your Workday system architecture, you have something called as business objects. This is like the key, or what to say, the starting point for your Workday. So what Workday has done, Workday has stored all your information in the form of objects over here. Okay. So instead of having tables, instead of having everything, it's all objects over here. Okay. So in Workday, if you have to access anything, like access any type of information, you need to know first what object you need to access, And using that object, you can access as related information, which is called as, or you can access something called as related objects. Or over here, we call something as attributes or fields. So just giving you a very big example, taking worker as a business object. Okay, or you can say as a business object, worker will have many fields attached to it. What it will have? It will have legal name, it will have its address, it will have position, it will have roles, it will have ID informations like a passport ID and your SSN, any other details like, or it might be your employee ID also. Okay, so these all are nothing but these are fields under the worker or business object. But if you altogether see position itself, now taking position as an example, position will itself also have some attributes attached to it or fields attached to it, like availability date, job position title, position name, all that stuff. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that worker is the business object over here and position is a related business object. Okay, but you need to understand over here that the position is also a business object, but when we are talking in terms of worker, position is a related business object to worker. Okay, but it's that position may also have its own related business object. Okay, am I clear over here? Okay, I'll take that as a yes. So a worker can have attributes such as legal name, age, and date of birth, as well as related business objects such as organization or position. Okay. When you see a business object, you can perform an action on it. The action can be like getting the details of the particular object, a related object, or modify something about that object. So just leave that part. The part mainly what it tries to say is that you can use that to get your information and you can perform your different actions as required. Okay. Moving on to the next slide.
So here, Vinay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, here in the, can you go back to the previous slide? Yeah, here worker, position, address, and roles all are business objects and which are interrelated to one another, right?
Correct.
Okay. So we have a like hierarchy here.
You can say it's like a hierarchy. See, that is what I was trying to say, related business object. So you have business object as worker. Now worker itself is having some related business objects. Related is like they will be having some relation with that, and that business object will itself has its own properties or attributes, you can say.
Okay, okay, yeah, got it.
Okay, so like
Thank
address over here will have address line 1, postal address, city, state, blah, 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 something like that.
Yeah, all the other fields in the address or the attributes.
Correct, and that attributes are of address business object, not of worker business object.
Yeah, right, got you.
So that is why it is a related business object to worker.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
No worries. So I'll just give an example over here, this one, and this example should actually clear out more things for you. So the following table compares familiar database terminology with Workday concept. So if someone is on from the Workday or from the database background, it might make sense to him also. So like Logan McNeil, I'm just assuming Logan McNeil is the name of a worker. Okay. So Logan McNeil is an instance of a worker. So in that Workday, it is called as an instance, and this will be like rows in your relational database. Okay. Now those Logan McNeil will have a date of birth, legal name, hire date, and all that. So those are columns over here, and those are attributes, you can say, in Workday. Okay. Similarly, worker is the table name, and Workday over here it's called as object. In Workday, when you refer a table, you call it as object basically. Okay. Did that make sense? Okay, good. So the next thing is
Vinay, can you repeat once again the previous slide?
Yeah. Okay, so taking from top to bottom now. So what we have is in Workday, we are discussing about object, right? So object, if you take it in terms of DB, it's nothing but table. Okay. Table, the example will be worker, organizations. So these only any object that can be existing in a table or any object that can be existing in Workday will be nothing but a table in database terms. Okay. Attributes, which you call in Workday, or you can say as fields, will be nothing but columns in database, and those columns can be like date of birth, legal name, or any attribute that we discussed about, like ID information, like passport ID and all that stuff. Okay. And then you have instance. Instance is nothing but rows, and those rows will be like the worker over here. Like local McNeil is an instance of a worker. Now understand this thing, that worker is a different table, organization is a different table, but there are some related information of the worker which will be stored in this. So there it will be relational database where it will be like one table is related to another table. Okay, because every worker will have organization details, like which organization it belongs to, what is a cost center, and all that stuff. Okay, I didn't want you to take the example of organizations. I'll just add an example over here, like suppose for address. So in the case of address, what happens is it will have the address details of the worker. It will have the home address details, like address line 1, address line 2, and all that stuff. So that will be now nothing but again columns over here, like address line 1 and address line 2 and all that stuff. That will be nothing but the details for this local McNeil itself. Now, if you are from a relational database background, you will know that one table is related to another table, and that reference only we are trying to use over here in Workday using related business object instead of relational database. Okay. Did I clear everyone's doubt? If there is any doubt, please ask the questions. It would be the best time to ask it.
Vinay, can you give me any example for the instance? I mean, an instance like Mr. Logan McNeil.
Yeah.
If he's on a vacation, that's an instance. That's what you're talking about, or is there any other thing?
Instance is nothing but any worker that you can pick up. Okay. Any worker in the system that you might have is nothing but an instance over here. Like, okay,
Because
just taking
in the object, we have already taken worker as a object, which is a table.
right. Right.
So the attribute is like his date of birth, his legal name, everything comes under an attribute, which is a column. So
Correct.
what do you mean by an instance?
Okay. So now understand this thing, that if the two tables have to be related, there will be some columns that will be common in both the tables, right?
Correct.
So just keep in mind that keeping these two right now into picture, this is like a worker and address. Address will also have something that is in common with worker. Okay. So in worker, you have something called as addresses. Okay. So that column will be over here also, and it will be there in the address object also. So that will be acting like a link, and there only you will be able to establish that link between them, and you can access the information for this worker's address.
Okay.
So now instance remains Logan McNeil over here itself and over there also. See, the basic concept is nothing but, don't confuse yourself with tables and all. I would say stick to this concept, because in Workday we don't say tables and all. I would say stick to this concept, which is nothing but you have a worker. That worker has roles, the worker has addresses, the worker has positions, the worker has IDs. Okay, but you need to understand that the worker will have its own attributes also, like legal name, date of birth. Now, legal name and date of birth, there is nothing more I can look about them. But if I go to position, about position, I can get more details about position, like what is a position name, what is the availability date of that position, what is a position end date, or you can say, or what is the position restrictions and all that stuff. So I can get all those details from the position. Now, this position is supposed to have more details. So if it is going to have its own details, it will become as an object. Okay. Anything that can hold details about itself is going to act as an object, and that object can be then referred, or over here, taking the example of position back, position and worker are related to each other. Why? Because a worker will always have a position attached to him. So that is why position is a related business object to worker. Now there might be instances that worker is a related business object to other objects. Okay, like I'll just take an example. I don't want to again complicate the things, but there is something called as staffing event. Staffing events is like any event that is happening, like hire, terminate, transfer, and all that. Any event that is happening is coming under the staffing event business object. Now that staffing event business object will be related to worker, because now worker will be a related business object to the staffing event. Okay, so it's not that the worker cannot be a related business object to anything. It can be. It's like right now we are taking worker as the primary business object, and then we are taking position, address, and roles as the related business object. Did that make sense to everyone? Any questions? Okay, good. So I think so this was pretty much good for a demo. This is like how we start, and I would say like the next topic would have been user interface and navigation, where I would have just taken you to the user, the UI, and would have given you a brief look or a look and feel about Workday, how it looks and all. I would have shown you the basic concepts like how to start exactly using Workday and all. So that was the main topic that we discussed on the first day, so that you know how exactly a Workday is, and if you have to navigate in Workday, how do you navigate in Workday? Okay, so I'm like taking this as just as a demo class. I'm ending a session over here. I would just take a pause and ask if you have any questions related to the things that we just saw, or related to the trainings that will be happening in the future.
You're covering only in functional, or I mean HCM, or both?
It's going to be a techno-functional thing.
Okay.
Hey Vinay, can you go through the course content?
I do not have a course content handy right now, but what I can do is I can ask the firm to send you one.
Okay, sure, no problem. And one more question: do we get the access to practice on the Workday? I know that we means like Workday tenants are not provided actually, if test tenants, but can we get a remote access or anything like that to practice on the tenant?
I think so. That would be the. I would not be able to help you with that. I would be showing you some quick demos, but I won't be able to provide you access to it.
Not even the remote?
No, sorry about that.
Okay.
Hi. By using the Workday, you have to develop any code?
Sorry, I lost you. Can you repeat that question?
We have to develop any code by using the Workday?
Code in the sense, you don't have to see over here in Workday, it's all about configurations, and it's all about making the settings over there basically. So you don't have to write exactly code until and unless it comes to XML and XSLT that you have, or if you're using Studio. In Studio also, you're not using any coding system. It's all about drag and drop. And you have properties attached to every component. You configure those properties. So it's exactly not coding. The coding will be something that you will not be doing over here. It will be just interacting with the UI and making some changes.
Vinay, hi, Shilpa here.
Okay.
Yeah. I just wanted to know whether about material of study material, or like, are you providing that study material?
Sorry, your voice was breaking in between. Can you just
okay, will you provide study material too?
Yeah, I'll be providing you the slides that you were seeing. So these slides will be provided to you so that you can refer them back. And another thing that I would suggest you is that keep your pen papers with you when you're taking sessions, so that you can make notes of the things that you might have questions on. You can pause me itself over there and ask the question. If you're not comfortable in asking this during the session, you can always ask me back after the session itself.
Okay, I'm sorry I joined late right today, and I would like to, just overview that if there is a time, like, if you can do it.
So Shilpa, I'll just say, like, can you stay back once when everyone is done, so that
Okay.
like we're not wasting others' time.
Perfect. Yep. Thank you.
No
Hey,
problem.
Vinay.
Basically, we have to do any navigation kind of
Right.
things.
Right. What's the question actually?
Instead of coding, we have to do navigations in Workday. That's it. What you said before.
No. I'm not saying it's just the navigations. I'm saying you will have to navigate for sure, but you will have to like do configuration. So like you use a smartphone, right? In
Yes.
smartphone, you have something called as settings.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you go to the settings, you configure the thing according to your requirement, right?
Yes.
So it's going to be something similar over here. You will always have everything in front of you. You just need to make the configurations depending on what the client requirement is.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
There might be some tweaking arounds or some additional things that we can do, which we will be knowing in detail once we get into that. But it's mainly about configurations. It's mainly about using the existing things and delivering the things that is required for the client.
Vinay,
Yeah.
can you give a high-level example of a functional consultant and a technical consultant? If the role of a consultant is a functional consultant in a company, and the other one is a technical consultant, right? So can you give 2 examples for those in a high level?
Okay. So basically, I would say that this is something that is covered as a part of there is like a slide that we have for it. I don't know whether I have it right now in this. It's not there in this one. So actually, when you go to that slide, there is like the whole process that we have in an ERP system. Okay. And in that ERP system, I would be using, there are steps that you follow, or there are steps that you do when you start implementing an ERP system for a client. So over there, it would have been easy for you to explain. So I would just say, hold on to that question when you join in, and then I can take that question again and I can answer that perfectly over there. Okay. But just to answer something around that is, functional would be mainly related to setting up the Workday data. Okay, setting up the processes, setting up everything else. Integrations would be mostly extracting out of that data that has been set up by the functional folks and presenting it to the client in the form of files or in the form of reports, or delivering the files to external vendors.
Okay, where the integration actually comes into the picture. So if a company wants to...
whenever you need to extract data out of Workday, okay, whenever you need any type of information from Workday, like you need worker details, you need position details, you need some XYZ details, that is when integrations come into picture. You need to build either a report around it, and that integration will take that report and fetch the details and do some logic and apply some business logic, and that is there. So basically, integrations come into picture when you need to extract data out of Workday.
Okay. For example, if a company wants to use the Workday, so but if they want to use the Workday, they're existing, they are already previously using some other HR system, and they are replacing with Workday, and Workday is not supporting some of their companies' fields, or some of the fields which they want, Workday is not supporting. Then integrations come into picture. Then the customization, we have to write the code.
See, these are really good questions. I would say that hold on to these questions once the session starts. These are some good questions that you can ask. Right now, if I would be answering them, you might understand them, you might not understand them, and you will be confusing yourself. Just to answer your question, if there are fields that are not there in Workday, which are not Workday delivered, you have something called as custom fields. So you can create your own fields, and that will be like specific to that client. Okay. But these are all details that we will be sharing it in the future slides, or when you join in the sessions as a trainer, sorry, as a trainee. then we will be discussing everything about it. But these are some questions that you should be holding on to until unless we reach to that topic.
Okay, no, that's fine. And last
what I'm
question.
looking for over here as a question is that you have anything related to your trainings, like that type of questions. Don't get into depthness of Workday, because the depthness of Workday will always be cleared when you start with the sessions.
Okay, I got you. And last question. How long is the course actually? Course duration and daily, how much time it will be? 1 hour or 1.5 hours?
So it would range from 1 to 1.5 hours on a daily basis. The session will be blocked for 1 hour, but I would be very frank that it gets on extended till 1.5 hours, because you'll have questions and there will be some other loopholes or something that will be happening. So I take the session from 1 to 1.5 hours. Depends on, I have a daily to daily slide basis session. Okay. So you see, like this is like, I have 11 slides. So this is like the agenda for one day. And I try to cover everything on that particular day. If not, it's not that mandatory that I have to complete it on one particular day. If everything goes as planned and there are not lots of stoppage in between, we will be covering that up. So basically I plan my training session for 1 to 1.5 hours for a day, and it will be weekday classes. Okay. And the timing is to be like decided on a consensus basis, that when everyone is available, and then we can block the timings accordingly.
And how many weeks it would be?
It would be around, you can say 40 to 45 days. I'm just taking the bigger picture. We might finish earlier, we might finish a little late, but the average time would be 40 to 45 days. Okay.
Sorry, one more question. Actually, do you show us the Workday tenant, and do you create all the navigation, supervisory organizations or something like that in the Workday? Will you show us, or you will be only going through the slides in the classes?
No. That is what I said in the starting. If someone asked a question related to access to the tenant, so I would not be able to give you access to the tenant. I have my own access to my tenant. I will be using that tenant to show demos, but unfortunately, I cannot give you access to the tenant.
Okay. Thank you.
Hello, Vinod, can you hear me?
It's Vinay, sorry.
Vinay, sorry, I think I missed the session. I came to just joined. So have you guys done the demo yet already?
Yep.
I was told. I'm sorry?
We are already done with it.
Yeah, I was told that just to join, and I just joined, and I think you guys are done. So when there will be a demo? I mean, can it be there be a retake demo somehow?
So I didn't get your name.
My name is Mel.
Okay, Mel. So what I would say is just just hold back for 5 minutes more. Once I'm done with everyone, there is a different session that is going to happen. I'll just give you like some 5-10 minutes more, and in that, then I can explain. I can give you a quick demo on that. Just I'm waiting for others to finish, and then I can just continue with you. And there is one more girl, Shilpa, if I'm not wrong. So she also missed the session, so I'll just take that quick session for you both.
Okay.
To practice Workday, we have to install any software?
Actually, you cannot practice Workday unless you have access to a tenant. So I doubt that. The thing that you can practice is Studio, but again, Studio also you need a tenant to deploy, and you won't be having a tenant to deploy. So again, you can't practice actually the things.
Okay.
What are
the technical concepts you cover, like studio integration, EIB connectors, or? Yeah,
it will be that, and it will be like some co-connectors that are provided by Workday. I'll be introducing you to that. I'll be introducing you to them, and then in the functional side, I'll be telling you about iLoads and all. So that is there, and on the basic points, like it will be everything that we have in Workday, like. There are organizations, there are staffing events, there are business processes, there are security that is involved. So introducing you to the security and all that stuff.
Okay, you said 40 to 45 days. So is there any fast track course available?
That is what I'm saying. See, we'll be going on that. It might be we might be finishing earlier also. We might finish a little late also. It's just that depends on how the group is and how quickly everyone is able to cope up with things.
Okay. Thank you.
ఎవడే ఇవ్వట్లేదు వీడిచ్చేదండి ఏమన్నా ఈ సొంత సిస్టమ్ ఇచ్చేయడానికి ఏమైనా ఎస్ఏపీ బయట ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసి ఇచ్చేయడానికి.
Yeah.
Hey, would you mind to share the Workday system? I mean, the login and the first navigation and everything.
I just mentioned some time back I won't be able to give you access to it, but yes, I will be able to show you demos and then you can take your notes accordingly.
No, for today, would you be able to log in and show the system and how it look like and everything?
I'm sorry, but I'm not prepared for that. I would not say I'm not prepared for that. Basically, the thing is that I need to apply some masking and all that, so that see, it's like I'll be using some client's tenant. So what I do is I actually mask the things, and so that you're not able to read that stuff. So I have to do some setup before I get actually started on that. So I'm sorry about that. I will not be able to do it right now.
All right, thank you.
শিলা বাবারে বলো যে টিচারের জন্য অফ না করে আমি কাজ করতেছি.
Okay, so there were two guys that was I hope I answered all your questions. I just stopped sharing my screen, so you should not be able to see anything now. So another thing is that sorry, go ahead.
Vinay, when are the regular classes going to start from?
The best person to answer that would be the VIT Labs people. So whoever is the organizer, just post that question.
Yeah, sure. No problem. Thank you.
No worries. So what I would say is that Surya, I suppose, or whoever is the VIT contact person over there, so can you please take 5 minutes and guide them what will be the next process, and then if you're done, I'll take it with Shilpa and I forgot the name, sorry. So I'll take a quick demo for them then.
Hi, will you be providing any training manual like in a PDF form?
It will be PPTs that I'll be providing to you. So that will be like a course content, or that will be like reference pack content for you.
Will it also have screenshots?
It might have screenshots, it might not have screenshots. If you want, I can add the screenshots when and when required.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. Okay, so I would just ask everyone else to drop out except Shilpa and the other person who joined a little late. Sorry, I forgot your name.
Mal.
And then, Mal. Okay, thank you. So, and then you can contact back to VIT Labs and they can help you with the other stuff. Thank you everyone for joining the session. Shilpa and Mal, I'm just waiting for others to drop out, and once they're done, we'll start from there.
Hey Vinay, one last question. When will the session will be get started? The training date?
I just answered that, so it's going to be VIT Labs. Just take that question to VIT Labs, and they should be able to answer that for you.
Yeah, actually, we are planning for tomorrow. Tomorrow onwards.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so Shilpa and Mal, so I'll just share my screen. Let me know once you can see my screen. Can you both see my screen now?
Yes, I can see your screen, Vinay.
Okay, thank you. And Shilpa, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I can see the screen.
Okay, good. So I'm assuming over here that you have the concepts of of HRMS known and the concept of ERP system known. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, good. So I would not spend some time on explaining what is exactly an ERP system and what exactly an HRMS system is. So what I'll do is I'll jump to Workday. That is a thing in scope over here. So Workday. So Workday is nothing but Workday is an ERP tool that we have, which is a cloud-based ERP tool. Okay, and they have different modules. Like they have benefits module, they have HR modules, they have finance modules. They have different modules that you can use, and you can implement it for your client, and you can get the things started over there. Okay, what are the benefits of Workday over the other ERP tools is, first of all, it's easy to access because it's on the cloud. And the other thing is that it's a SaaS-based product. So any idea what exactly a SaaS-based product is?
No.
Okay, Shilpa?
No.
Okay, so SaaS is nothing but software as a service. Okay, so software as a service is nothing but where you will be provided a software and you will be told to use that. But the best part is you don't have to worry about the hardware requirements. You don't have to worry about the updating of the software or software updates that will be coming. Everything will be provided to you free of cost. Okay, so any hardware problem that is like maintaining of your servers, maintaining of your databases and everything is done by Workday itself. You don't have to worry about keeping our database at your end, maintaining servers and all that stuff. So a very big cost that is around your database servers and your network servers, you are saving a lot over there. So that is the best part about Workday. Another is that any week updates that come, okay, those updates are provided to you free of cost and you don't have to pay anything for that. Okay, and those are automatically installed on your software. So you don't have to wait for them to get installed, or you don't have to install them manually or something. It's already automatically installed for you. Okay. There will be dates that will be told to you that this will be the date that this will be updating, and all that stuff is there. So everything is like that over here in Workday. Okay, so that is why Workday is right now a booming technology, because it's like a very cost effective, and that is what the main feature about Workday is. Okay, so that was a little bit background about Workday. Moving on to the first topic that we have in Workday is the Workday system architecture. So the Workday system architecture, the first thing that you have is the users that will be like you, who will be interacting with the UI. The UI will be making requests and response. The request and response will be in the form of XML in Workday, and that will go to the OMS. OMS is nothing but object management services. These object management services will do what? It will execute the business logic. Any business logic that you are asking it to enforce or to execute, it will execute that. It will check your security. Depending on your security, it will allow you to do stuff. It will check for data. It will communicate with the outside world to get that data. Outside world over here will be nothing but ESB. ESB is nothing but the integration server. So over here, your data is stored. All the information that you have will be accessed, and you again make requests and responses. You get your response back from the ESB to the OMS, and this OMS will actually be performing all the things for you. Okay, so OMS actually takes request in. It then is a request to ESB. That request will go as a response from the ESB to OMS, and this OMS will again send out a response to you. So at the end, you'll be getting your information on the interface that you are using. That will be an internet browser over here. Okay. So this is like the Workday system architecture. And this is how the request and how the response, or how exactly the requests are taken in Workday. Okay. Moving on to the next slide. So the first and the foremost thing that you need to know about things in Workday is the business objects. Okay. That is like the building blocks in Workday. Sorry about that. So yeah, the business objects. So I'll just take an example, and then using that example, it will be easier to explain you. So I suppose have a worker in worker in Workday. Now that worker will have many workers with it, right? There will be many workers in the Workday system. So anything that can be grouped will be behaving as a business object, or will have its own attributes or more details about it. So a worker will have his legal name, a worker will have his date of birth, a worker will have many other fields that will be attached to him. Okay, he will also have a position attached to him, he will also have roles attached to him, he will have an address attached to him. Okay, so worker over here is a business object, and that business object is storing some information of its own. Now there are other fields also that are to a worker. So to a worker you suppose have a field as position. Now this position itself can have its own attributes. That will be like availability date, job posting title, you can say position start date, position end date, position restrictions. So all these are attributes that are of this position. These are not of the worker, but these are of the position now. So over here, worker is your primary business object, or you can say as a business object, and position is a related business object to your worker business object. Okay, so that is how the stuff will be, that you will have business objects. Now position is also a business object, but when you're taking it in terms of worker, position is a related business object to worker. Okay, so everything in Workday is in the concept of business objects and related business objects. You need to establish that relationship, and you need to figure out what exactly that relationship is between the business object and the other business object that you want to use, or where you want to establish a relationship between them, or you want to extract data using both the business objects. Okay, so this is the concept of objects and related objects in Workday, and the building blocks in Workday. Questions?
You mentioned about building blocks.
No.
What is that?
Sorry, there was an intervention in between. Can you repeat the question, Mal?
I was asking, you were mentioning about building blocks. What is that?
I'm just using that term to tell you that everything in Workday will be referred as objects. Okay. Basically, if you are going to a worker is nothing but a business object. Okay. So in order to get started in Workday, I was referring in that terms that you need to understand what exactly a business object is. So if you read the, let's read the lines that we have over here. So Workday stores information in the system in the form of objects. So Workday is storing all your information in the form of objects. So worker is an object, and any details that is related to a worker will be stored under this object.
Okay, and this is the business objects. Is not you're referring to reporting table or reporting tool.
No, it's not a it is basically used for reporting. Where like suppose you have to create your own reports. Over there you will have to select what will be the business object for that report. Okay. Suppose you want to create a report related to worker, you will take worker as a business object. Suppose you want to create a report related to addresses only, you will take addresses as a business object.
Okay.
If suppose you want to, yeah.
Right. And I was saying that this is a business object you're referring to. It's not a business object tool the other Oracle provides, right?
So, okay. There is no tools that are provided by Workday. It's all on the UI itself that you have. Only the tool that is externally provided by Workday is Workday Studio, and that Workday Studio is used when you come to integrations point of view, or you have to build your custom integrations basically, and that are not, or the integrations that are not provided by Workday, that only you are building using the tool over there. There is no other tool in Workday that we have.
Okay. Now I was just a little bit confused initially when you talk about business objects. You're talking about business objects as like tool that is Oracle and not the separate tool for reporting, like a developer tool.
Right.
Like a BO tool, business object, business intelligence tool, XML publisher, things like that, or a BI publisher.
Correct. So over here you don't have that stuff. You just have the you don't have to worry about the tools. That is what it's removing the dependencies on tools and all that stuff.
Okay.
Okay. And over here everything that you have is on the UI. You will be just having a link that you need to access. That will be like the tenant in Workday, what is called as. You have to access the tenant, and using the tenant, you can perform each and every action that is available in Workday. You don't have to go to some other third-party things, or you don't have to go some other tool, perform the action over there, and then bring the things to that particular ERP. Everything over here is in that particular tenant itself.
You mentioned about tenant. How does tenant like a rental tenant? How do you spell it?
Yeah. It's T-E-N-A-N-T.
Tenant. Oh, I never heard that term. Okay.
Okay, that is the term that you will be using in Workday a lot. The tenant is nothing but the website basically that you will be accessing.
Okay.
Okay. Since as I mentioned in the architecture, that over here you have nothing but a UI over here. Okay. And that UI you will be accessing using the internet browser. And using that internet browser, it's nothing like but a website that you will be accessing. That website will have login ID and password you need to enter. Once you have that login ID and password, you are ready to use Workday.
Okay. Right.
Okay. But did you get the concept of business objects over here, Mal?
Yes, it's object-based basically. That's the way it is designed in Workday.
Correct. Okay. Shilpa, was it clear to you?
Yep.
Okay, good. So I was actually just giving a very, this is like the slide basically who wants to relate it to the database terminologies and all that stuff. So I would not confuse you over here. So if the concept is clear to you, just once you have the slides, or like if you join the session and I pass on the slide to you, just give it a quick scroll, and then you will be able to understand in the database terms what exactly an object is in Workday and how is it related to a table in relational database. So this is something I use when people don't understand it on the basic concepts, but when I want to make them clear using a relational database concept. So that is there. So this is what I just covered in the demo class, and I just gave them a quick demo about this thing because I just wanted to tell them that what is exactly they're going to face and how exactly my training would be. So that's the pretty much training that I gave them. Since it was a larger group, I had a larger number of questions, so I was able to answer those questions. So what I did next with them was that I told them about the next topics. It will be like user interface and navigation. This is like how we start. We first talk about like how first I need to guide you how exactly you can navigate in Workday and all that stuff. So that was the first thing that the next thing that I told them. But I'm not covering them over here right now because again that is not in the agenda today. I just wanted to introduce you to myself and introduce you to my training pattern and all. So I'm right now open to questions that you might have. Before you shoot out your questions to me, I just wanted to tell you that I'll be giving you slides. These slides will be given to you. This will have all the details that I'll be covering up. And you can use this as a refer back resource to refer back data to you. I would also request you, once you're joining the sessions, keep a pen paper handy so that you can keep making notes that are not there on the slide. And if you have any extra questions, you can come back to me, or you can ask them once the session is done, or even between the sessions if you're comfortable enough to ask that. If you're not comfortable enough to ask the questions during the session, you can always stop back after the session and ask me the questions. So I'm now open to questions that you might have related to the trainings or anything else.
Yeah, Vinay, and like, after the session, if while studying, maybe, if we will refer these slides again, and
right.
At that point, if I will realize I need to know something more, so can I reach out to you through email, or I should ask you a question within the while the session is going on or after session?
So you can actually take both the scenarios. You can use email the scenario also. Okay. You can mail me if you want it. It again depends on my availability and when I'm frequently checking my emails. That is one thing. Okay. And other thing is that you can always ask it in the session also, in the next session also.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
No problem.
And Vinay, this is Kumar. I have a quick question. So you'll be covering technical as well as functional, or I don't know what are the topics you'll be covering up here. Like
I'll just be asking
functional side, benefits and compensation, maybe peak off payroll, and also integration reporting. So I don't know what all the details. Do you have a slide for that, or?
Yeah, so let me just answer that. So I'll be asking VIT Labs to send you that course content because I just got to know that many people are not having the course content. So I'll be asking VIT Labs to send you that course content, and then you can actually get the more details. So, but whatever topics you mentioned, those all topics will be covered in the sessions that we'll be having.
Okay, great. And also Studio, right?
Yeah, Studio will be there at the end.
Okay. You said, I joined towards the end of the session, so you mentioned like about it might take about 40 to 45 days, right? Correct?
Yeah.
And an hour each day, or you work like most of
So
the
what we block is 1 hour in a day, but I would say that it goes for 1.5 hours because we have questions and we have some other things that block the session. So I'll say it would be from hour to 1.5 hours.
Okay, is it going to be only weekdays, or you're covering up weekends as well?
Depends on the availability again. If everyone is available on a weekend and they are not having any plans, so we can go ahead on the weekends itself also.
Yeah, pretty much same time, right?
Yeah, it would be pretty much, again, that again has to be decided that what would be the timing for the classes. So I would just say hold on back to that question. VIT Labs would be confirming on that and would be conveying the same to you.
Okay. Thank you.
No worries.
And Vinay, sorry, this is Mel here. Will this session will be recorded and will be given to us?
We can do that. We can record this session and we can give it to you. 1 second, Mal. Let me just get my charger because I'll then lose you all. 1 second, just.
Okay.
Hey, okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I just was losing some charging. So I'm actually stopping my present sharing. Yeah, you can go ahead with the questions. You had something else, Mal?
Sure, I do have a couple of questions, so just to have a clear understanding. I think Kumar covered most of what I was asking about what we will be covering based on the course content, and also tell me about yourself. I mean, you have not identified who you are. I mean, what you are, and if you're a certified consultant, if you're not, and
yes.
My main goal is to be certified and to make sure that I have to be in the market pretty soon. So how it can help us to be certified to that level, if any, and also, as far as I know in Workday, you have to be specialized. I mean, rather than generic one. So I will make sure we cover and let us know if you can be specialized or just you're giving a high-level picture of techno-functional world. Because if that is just a high-level picture, then I have to rethink because I want to be specified and make sure that I do my job in the real field, and certification is definitely what I'm looking for.
Okay. So sorry about that, Mal, but I actually gave my introduction in the starting session, so I forgot about it that I was actually re-giving a session. So I didn't give my introduction, but yeah, just to introduce myself, my name is Vinay. I have been working on Workday for around 4 to 5 years now, and it's been a good journey so far. I've been learning a lot. My main role is as a technical person, but I do work on the functional side also. So been in touch with both techno-functional guy, certified in both. Workday 24 certified, 25 will be completing soon, and so certified in both actually, again, functional as well as technical. Okay. I've worked on all the modules basically that are there in Workday except the Workday payroll and a little bit about onboarding and all. So I've not worked on those modules, but except that I've worked on the benefits. I've worked on the finance modules even that just came up, and so worked on HCM modules as normally we do. So HCM modules we have worked on many custom integrations, worked on different stuff, Workday Studio stuff. So good experience so far, and have been getting some good recognition for it in my company that I'm working for currently. I'm sorry I can't disclose that because of some issues, privacy issues and all. So will be able to share that information. But yes, I'm working for a current organization, a firm, and this is something good over there. So that was a little bit brief about me. To answer your other part of the questions that was related to your getting certified and all. So I just wanted to make it clear that certifications are not available to the general public. You need to be a member of the partner firm to do a certification. Okay, like there is, I would say Accenture is there. There is PwC. There is KPMG. There is Deloitte. There are many partners that Workday is having. D9 is like one. So there are partners firms that are there in that are partner to Workday. So you need to be a member of that partner firm to do that certification. And again, that certification is something that is initiated by the partner firm. You cannot say go to the partner firm and say that I just want to do some certification. That partner firm need to initiate that process, and they need to take care of the things for you. Okay, so that is about the certification. Answering your other question, that was like how deep dive we'll be going into the things over here. So to be frank, the sessions that I had during my training or during my certifications, I'm taking that same level of session. So it's actually nothing but I'm actually certifying you, but not able to give you certificates. That is the thing. So it would be same stuff. It would be the same level of training and everything that will be covered over here.
All right. And will your training help us for certification in the near future when we partner with a company?
Yep, it would be, because you will be having the concepts clear in your mind, and then you can purely understand the things what they're talking about, and it should be actually very much helpful to you. It should be actually very, very, very much helpful to you.
And Vinay, are you based in USA or India?
In India right now.
Okay. And also, how we can put ourselves in the job market without any certification?
So I would say there are AMS firms like who provide AMS services, that is like support services. So in order to do support services in Workday, you don't need to be a partner firm. Okay. So you can get in touch with those type of firms that are doing AMS. So they will then be ready to take you in that. You don't need certifications to work in an AMS firm. Like Tech Mahindra is one. I can just
what is AMS firm?
AMS is nothing but support, like those who have already implemented Workday and they need support for that Workday, like to maintain their Workday that they have implemented, and or any changes that they might have after go live, or any additions that they might have after go live.
Mm-hmm.
So those type of firms you can go to. I suppose Tech Mahindra is doing that, Accenture is doing that, and PDO, I suppose, is doing that. So I'm not sure about the firms, but yes, Tech Mahindra and Accenture for sure. They're not asking for certifications on that. But if you go to some big partner firms, that is like Deloitte, KPMG, I think so they are asking for certifications, even if you are going for an AMS support.
Mm. Right.
You just need to figure out, just spend some time on this, like I think so Google or something, or if you visit Workday website, it should help you out. But I think so what I know is that, and I'm sure about it, that you don't need to, if you're doing support work, you don't need certifications basically.
Okay, and Vinay, the main thing is one of the core module in HCM is payroll, and that's what you're missing, right?
See, payroll is actually like, are you talking about Workday payroll?
Yes.
Yeah, so Workday payroll, see, when you go for certifications and all, Workday payroll is not something that is a part of your normal certifications. That is like an altogether different certification that you have.
Mm.
Okay, so if you are like going as a techno-functional guy, or even if you're going as a technical guy or as a functional guy, you will never be trained on Workday payroll. Workday payroll is itself a very different training, and that is like a different module, as you said, as itself. Mainly what Workday has done is their certification is, see, Workday even understands this thing that in 10 days or in 45 days of training, they cannot make you masters of things. Okay.
Right.
What they're trying to do is they are trying to introduce you the concept of Workday, and they're trying to introduce you with the features that they have in Workday. Okay. So that is what your agenda should also be when you are going for this training. It should not be that you want to become masters in Workday. Your goal should be understanding Workday, getting to know Workday, and able to perform actions in Workday.
Hmm. Okay.
And Vinay, if we go as a functional consultant, does the functional consultant works on all the modules? Does he or she get a chance to work on all the modules in a single project?
Again, it depends on the client, right? If the client is implementing all the modules, then yes, you might get that opportunity. Or sometimes the client will implement only one module out of all the module. Only he's only going for the HR module. He's not implementing any other module. So it depends on the client. It will depend on the project. It will depend on the client. It will depend on again, the exposure that you are getting. It might be that there are different other, or you may say there are other modules that are getting implemented, but what your management has decided that you are going to work only on this particular module. So these are like some questions that you will have to, basically the answer is that it depends on the client and it depends on your management.
Yeah, and see, I'm not a developer. I never worked as a developer, and I never means like
I just
never.
stop you over there. I have got that question many times. So just to answer that, nothing related to coding over here, nothing related to development work over here. It's all going to be about configurations, making the settings done, and like validating your results and some tweaking around, like some client-specific requirements. So for that, you will have to do that. Workday is
We have to
nothing
do
but
the
it is-
XML. The code means like the language which Workday use is XML for the.
I'll come to that. Just give me a second. So mainly Workday is nothing, but mainly it's all about configurations. You have to do configurations. Everything is available to you. You just need to understand what exactly your client requires and need to do the setup accordingly. Okay. Coming to some other stuff, you might have to learn a little bit about XML, a little bit about XSLT. Not a little bit, actually much about XSLTs. And that will be coming into picture when you go to the technical side. If you are not going to the technical side, you don't have to worry about the XML stuff or the XSLT stuff.
Okay.
And yes, there is Studio, and a Studio is there. In Studio also, it's all about drag and drop. Again, there are some components that are there. You just need to configure those 10 components. It's not that much, coding again over there. But yes, you need a little bit of, mindset for coding, but it's not going to be exactly coding over there.
Okay. If a company is trying to implement Workday, then implementation part, then the technical guys comes into picture?
It's actually both the guys will be at the same time. It's in the starting phase, in the very, very much starting phase, it would just be the functional folks. But once actually the project starts, it's going to be both at the same time. It's like working hand in hand.
Okay.
It's never going to be that it's always going to be functional and then it's going to be totally integration and then again totally functional. No, it's going to be always hand in hand.
And Vinay, are you going to teach us XMLP on the session or something?
Yeah, I would be just giving you some basics about it so that you can get started when we go to that part.
All right. And also, what is the language behind the scene? Your programming language, is it Java?
Okay, that's actually a good question, and that also comes a lot. So while I would say that you don't need to again bother about those stuff. Okay, that is what Workday has done, is that Workday has not introduced us to these things again for security reasons. Workday does not want to know that, or doesn't want you to know that is there a database involved or is there a database not involved. They don't want you to know what is a backend language that you're using. So they don't want you to know anything. They are just giving you the UI and they're telling that stick to that UI and just use that UI. Other things I'll bother about.
And usually an implementation, how long does it last? Because I mean, how long?
It depends on the client. There are projects that were like 1 month projects or 2 months projects.
Okay.
There were projects that were like 6 months project. There were projects that were like 1 year or 1.5 year or 2 years project. Depends on the client, how extensive he's going, how big bang he's going, or it basically depends on the client. It's not, and basically Workday is known for short-term projects.
Okay.
Workday projects, where the biggest project that I have seen till now is a 2-year project, but that was also like in 3 phases. There were like wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. And that wave 1 was around some 6 months or 7 months. Then again, another was again 6 months or 7 months. And the third one was a shortest one. So that is like, again, Workday projects are very small projects. Maximum 1 year or 1.5 year is like one wave that goes on.
Okay.
And if it is going 1 year and 1.5 year, the integration count will be something around more than 300 or 400, and it would be like a very big implementation that we're talking about, involving around some more than 10 countries or 7 to 8 countries.
Right. And is it going global? Do they have global practice as well, like HCM global?
Yeah, we are going for global. There are many implementations that have been done, and like n number of implementations that have been done for global and all.
Okay. And what about you mentioned something about short term? what type of skill sets do we need to have, or prior skill sets, in order to get into Workday?
Actually, you don't need anything.
Oh, really? That's a good answer. Okay.
You don't need actually anything. It's like Workday is taking care of that. As I told you, that the Workday is getting you certified. You need to be certified to work on Workday. So that is why you have trainings on Workday, and then after the trainings you get that certification. But if you know Workday in advance, if you know the things how work in Workday, clearing that training would be like a lot easier for you.
And configurations. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and the problem with the Workday is that I suppose they give you just one try. If you fail once, you are not going to give again the training being from one partner firm. Like if you go to another partner firm and try again, that is a different stuff. But being in a single partner firm, they will not give you another chance.
Really? Wow. And is it hard to pass the exam?
I would say that if you are attentive to the classes and if you are attentive to the sessions and if you are doing your homeworks that are assigned to you, I don't think so. It's like what to say, tough. See, I'll tell you what the average score that is there in the exams is like out of 100, you will be getting like 90, 95, 80, 85 and all that stuff. So that is the average score. So you can understand that it's not that tough. It's just that you need to be attentive and you don't need to do any, what to say, cheating and all, you can say.
Right. And they were talking about mostly configuration, like on the functional end. Is it for, I mean, you were in technical, was it harder for you to more about functional because of configuration, processes, things like that?
See, well, it's a new thing and we take a little bit time in adjusting to the new thing. So yes, it will be a little bit hard for everyone, even if it's a functional side or if it's a technical side. But yes, I would say just if you're just a little bit attentive into the sessions and if you're just keen on learning the things, it's not going to be any problem at all.
Right, and will you be showing us how to set up organization, roles, things, security, things like that in your functional?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You will be covering it in the sessions going forward that we have over here.
Okay, Vinay, you said that for the support projects initially some AMC or something you said, right?
AMS.
AMS. So as far as I know, the support projects. We will have some support projects definitely in India, but if we are located in USA, do any of the companies do the support projects as well? Can we get into the support project?
That's a good question, but I.
Hello?
Hello?
I guess you blew him away.
Maybe, yeah, we have lost him, I guess.
Are you based here? I'm sorry, what's your name?
Sirisha?
Sirisha, are you based here or in India?
I'm in Atlanta.
Oh, you're in Atlanta, okay.
Yeah.
Good. Do you go to the World Mall by any chance?
Sorry?
Have you been to the World Mall?
Mall? No. No.
Where
is it? Is it in Decade?
I think Vinay has arrived now.
Is it in Decade?
Hello,
it's
are you there?
Who is talking behind the scene?
Hi, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes, Vinay, yeah.
Okay, sorry, I lost. I think so. I got dropped off for a second. So yeah. So to answer your question, that's actually a very good question that you asked. But to be frank, I have no idea about that. You can check the job forums over there. You can try Googling, or you can first check who is doing that AMS type of work in US over there. So I would say that should be your initial steps.
Okay. So what I'm thinking is, if we
I would even just add over there. Sorry to barge in. So I would just say that one thing is that if you have right now, the market in Workday is so good that if you have knowledge about ERP systems and if you have just the knowledge of HR system and all, people are looking to switch into Workday. And if you are having this much knowledge about Workday, that will be like techno-functional. A person is having that's a very big thing, and people will be ready to accept you in the organizations. That is what my gut feeling is. Even
if they don't ask us, certification, then it is okay. Yeah, we should be able to find projects. If they are asking for the certification, especially, maybe we may not find the projects.
That is true, Surisha. I agree with you. No, Vinay, in US market, I think Surisha has made some good points. I'm from US as well. Most of the requirements I've seen that they're looking for certification, and that's basically throws you off if you're not certified. And that's where my biggest concern comes in. Even though with the support project, it's hard to find here so far.
So, Mal, what I would say is that you can ask them is that I have knowledge on Workday. You can even examine me on that, and you can then get me certified. Because if they are doing that, and if they are asking you to come with certifications, they can get you certified also then.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a good point. Okay.
Because if you are having knowledge about Workday, and you can then just say them that I have knowledge on Workday. If you are this much, peculiar about getting me getting a certification and all, just get me certified. I'll be certified then.
Okay. You sound like you've been to USA before, or probably you're here.
I'm actually I have been working for so many projects and so many things, so it's been a good experience so far. That is what I've been mentioning. So I've learned a lot and working for a very good firm, so that has given me a very good exposure. So that's the thing.
That's good. And the main thing is, Vinay, our main goal is to learn a lot from you and also share basically the experience to our future company that we work with. And it seems like we have to get the confidence from you, at least, that you will give us that knowledge so that we can basically get to the market or get to the job field and start working.
Correct. I get you totally there, man. That is what the agenda would be, and that is what the goal is, at the end goal is basically.
Yeah, even you will be sharing the real-time scenarios as well in the training?
See, I would say that I can give you real-time scenarios, but you would not have anything to try it out on.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, nobody is actually giving the access for the Workday.
See, you need to understand that is something that we cannot do because that would be something illegal.
Yeah, right.
Screenshots, correct? You might be adding in your presentations.
Yeah. Screenshots I'll be giving you, and I'll give you some it will give you some fair idea about the things.
Yeah, at least
I'll be giving you
know
demos.
the system, how it looks.
Correct. I might not be able to give you screenshots for each and every small thing, but when it comes to big things or something that you should have a screenshot for, I'll try to provide you for that.
Yeah, that will be more better. You can get little idea then how it will be actually looking on the screen.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
And one more question, Vinay. If we miss any session by chance, will you be providing the recording sessions?
I think so. VIT Labs will be providing you the session, the recording. So I think so that should not be a problem.
Okay, yeah.
And Vinay, basically you said something earlier on makeup session or something on weekend class. Right. If there are probably, I don't know how many students you will have, probably 15, 20 students, and it's hard to manage everybody, isn't it? If we want to have everybody agrees to the session.
Yeah. So, well, as a Shilpa, I suppose, or I don't know who it was, I'm sorry about that. So as she mentioned that there will be recordings that will be done for each and every session. So in case you miss a session, you can go to that recordings, you can get to, and you will try to understand the things and then come back with the questions.
Are you going to give us practice on weekends or do you have server access?
No.
That is what I have access, but I can't provide you that access. Sorry about that, man.
Okay.
See, the thing is that if I provide you that access, I'll be doing something illegal, and I really don't want to do anything.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, actually, I have done a small project in Workday, actually as a tester. So it was very tough to get the tenant access, and even they have actually signed up some of the documents that if you are sharing if you're sharing anything, then you'll be fired out or kicked out of the company, something like that. I know it's very hard to get the access.
Right.
So the thing is
you're saying tenant, more like a client? I mean, I know Shilpa was just
it's like it's a client, yeah.
The tenant is a client. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So every client has their own tenant. tenant. Like suppose I would say Facebook implemented their Workday. So when Facebook implemented, so Facebook has their own tenant that they use. Suppose Google implemented it, and actually Google has implemented it. So Google has their own tenant. So like that. Okay, one more thing that I can mention is that you were talking about job market, right? So there are firms that have implemented Workday, like Google, Facebook, and there are many firms that have implemented. They want person who can maintain their Workday. Okay.
Yeah.
Or they can help them in daily, like daily monitoring their Workday. Like these are the integrations that failed, or this is something that they need, what to say, changed or something like that. So that is also a market that you can concentrate on. That was not something that I had in my mind. I just struck it. So like people who have already.
But even they also need a certification?
No.
Sorry, they don't.
They don't.
So
yeah.
They won't ask us in the interview, correct?
They might ask you, then you can just tell them that this is something that I don't have, and then you can just tackle the things accordingly.
Okay.
But then they will ask, how did you get the experience? We'll just say we had implemented Workday in our company, and that's the way we learned it. Never had to be certified.
You might have to play a little bit mal over there, and you might have to say that yes, I have done some projects or something like that, or you might have to play a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to get certified.
Yeah, and you might say that I have, and you might just say that I have been into trainings and I learned from there.
All right, and Vinay, if coming from ERP background like PeopleSoft or Oracle, will it be easier to pick it up in Workday?
It would be actually a little bit tough because you'll be trying to you'll try to mix up the things that are there in Workday and in PeopleSoft. So
I know, and that's what I was doing.
So I would say that when you are coming.
Yeah.
So I have seen people doing that. So I would just say, or I would say that is when you're coming to Workday or when you're attending the sessions, forget about PeopleSoft, forget about whatever you have in PeopleSoft, and then come over here. Like
but you know what,
I just be blunt over here, and I would just say that like you were relating the objects over here to PeopleSoft again.
I was like, what are you talking about? Objects in PeopleSoft, every field is an object. Here, object is a table. I just looked at you, it's like, what are you talking about? Oh my, wow. But you know, funny thing is, people encourage you. If you know the ERP, like especially PeopleSoft, it will be easier because Dave Duffel, the guy, he invented PeopleSoft as well, who created Workday. Yeah,
it's actually true, but it's actually very much different from PeopleSoft.
Oh man, I was mistreated then. But they told me that if you learn PeopleSoft, if you know PeopleSoft, it will be easier for you to pick it up. So you are the first one who said.
See, why it will be easier for you to pick up the things is that functionality remains the same.
Yeah, okay. Concepts remain the same.
The concepts remain the same. It's just that you need to understand how exactly Workday is working. Over there, yes, it will help you. But if you try to relate the things that this is how it is done in Workday and this is how it is done in PeopleSoft, there the clashes happen. Or there is where the confusions happen. So I would like you to stop doing that. I'm not saying you to forget the concepts of Workday or about the ERP and all that. Concepts, keep it to you, but stop comparing Workday and PeopleSoft or any other ERP system, SAP or whatever it is.
Okay. One of the reasons I'm shifting to Workday just because I had enough of PeopleSoft, and I don't like that language, which is people code they use behind the scene. I never liked it. So, and also I heard that Workday is much easier. You don't have to worry about coding, and I'm trying to get away. Yeah. Okay.
Then it will be much easier for you to get into, get all the concepts and in the integration part as well.
Yeah, but again, I have to fight with Vinay then in the class. Like, why is this happening this way? Since I have much knowledge on the other side.
No worries, man. I'll be happy to answer you, and I'll be putting on a good fight. Don't worry.
Okay. All right.
I have done this in the past, so I'll say that I have experience with it. Sorry, I have experience, man.
Okay, good to know. At least thanks for clearing the confusion. It was getting me in the beginning, like you were talking about object, like, well, okay. That makes sense.
No worries at all. That is what I'm there for.
Okay, great.
Okay, so folks, I suppose I took a little longer, and I think so I helped you a lot in understanding the things. So looking forward for you to joining the sessions, and we'll connect with you then.
Yes. Thank you very much, Vinay, for your time, and we'll like to work with you in the near future, okay?
No worries, I'm happy.
Yeah, thank you very much, Vinay.
That was really informative. and
Okay,
really,
thank you
really
for that.
helpful. Yeah.
Thank you so much,
All right.
and looking forward for more sessions.
Yep.
All right.
Sure.
Good night
Okay.
or good morning.
Bye-bye. Good night and good morning to you, or whatever.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Yeah.
Thank you, Vinay.
Bye-bye.